Carl Gustaf Recoilless rifle's story began in the late 1940s and was inspired by the success of World War II man-portable rocket launchers such as the legendary Bazooka. Conceived and built in Sweden, the weapon is an 84mm caliber portable shoulder-fired recoilless rifle designed as a close-range, anti-tank, and support weapon for infantry. From the start, the Carl Gustaf M1 was a huge success around the globe and continues to be a popular multi-purpose support weapon in use with many nations to this day. However, as the rifle evolved into its fourth variant in the 21st century, it is expected to finally fulfill the purpose it was made for, combating the Russian threat. Weapon of choice. The legacy of the Carl Gustaf dates back to post-World War II, when the M1 emerged as an alternative to earlier attempts at recoilless firing technologies. Using considerably more propellant, the M1 could fire rounds at 290 meters per second, resulting in enhanced accuracy at longer distances. Not long after, the system found its way into many armed forces around the world, especially West European armies, where it became the weapon of choice for its squad-level anti-tank capabilities. Less than a decade later, the M1 had birthed the M2 export version, an improved and lighter variant more appealing to the export market. Eventually, the M2 replaced the original and stayed in operation for several years. In the 1980s, the company pursued the development of an even lighter version. The M3 shared some commonalities with the original M1 while replacing the forged steel tube with a thin steel liner containing the rifling. It was also strengthened by a carbon fiber outer sleeve. Moreover, the external steel parts were replaced with plastics and aluminum alloys that further reduced their weight. The M3 export version was fit for various roles and saw service with the British Special Air Service, United States Army Special Forces, and United States Army Rangers. It has also been employed by dozens of nations across all continents and in all sorts of conflicts, including the Congo Crisis, the Falklands War, the Lebanese Civil War, the Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, and most recently, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. BACKBLAST. The weapon consists of the main tube with a breech-mounted Venturi recoil damper. It has two grips near the front and features a shoulder mount. It is also fitted with iron sights, although it is usually aimed with its attached 3x optical sight, which also has 17 degrees of field of view. The most modern variants include the Swedish aim-point sighting system, and luminous front and rear inserts can be mounted for the iron sights when aiming at night. In addition, an image intensification system further enhances its capabilities. Notably, the Carl Gustaf can be fired comfortably using many different poses, whether standing, sitting, kneeling, or from a prone position. Plus, a bipod can be attached in front of the shoulder piece. Reloading is enabled by the so-called Venturi lock, an operating handle that moves the hinged breech to one side so that the shooter can reload the weapon. However, the Carl Gustaf is usually operated by a two-man crew, comprising a gunner to carry and fire and a loader carrying 2 canisters totaling 4 rounds of ammunition. While firing, a safety procedure indicates the loader's responsibility to clear the area behind the weapon from people or interferences that could hamper the backblast. Indeed, any person within the backblast cone could be severely injured by the fire, and solid objects positioned closely behind the system could reflect the blast onto the crew. The Carl Gustaf is highly dangerous up to 30 meters and considered hazardous to about 50 to 75 meters, as the blast wave can cause burn-related injuries. Similarly, the repeated firing of the Gustaf can cause related shockwave injuries to both the gunners and others nearby. In fact, during training, gunners are not allowed to fire more than 6 rounds a day, and the assistant gunners are also required to move away from the overpressure zone to be able to fire that same amount. The real war. After decades of tiptoeing back and forth between Russia and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Sweden finally submitted a formal petition to join the alliance. Consequently, the Nordic country's domestic defense industry was suddenly in the spotlight, especially its giant defense company, Saab. The crown jewel of Saab's arsenal of portable weapons is the newest iteration of its renowned Carl Gustaf rifle, otherwise known as Charlie G and Charlie Swede. The M4 variant is an 84mm recoilless rifle, initially developed by Saab Bofors Dynamics and produced at Karlskoga. The weapon has been popular from its beginnings, and the newest iteration brings immense potential that its predecessors could not fulfill. The 36th largest defense firm in the world, Saab would more than likely welcome the opportunity to offer its product to interested NATO allies. The firm has mainly focused on anti-armor, anti-structure, and anti-personnel weaponry, the precise kind of equipment that can make a difference in modern warfare. In early May of 2022, the company and its partners in the armed forces participated in a 2-day series of live fire demonstrations. The event showcased the largest exhibition of nighttime firings at the company's facilities since 2014. In the wake of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the use of such kinds of weapons has become more than evident. As commander of the Swedish Army, Major General Carl L.E. Engelbrektsson put it, man-portable anti-armor systems would prove vital because, quote, in the end, the real war is on the ground. Fire and remember. Admittedly, Sweden has not directly supplied any units of the Carl Gustaf to the Ukrainian military. Nevertheless, the Canadian government provided Kyiv with no less than 100 launchers and 2,000 rounds of ammunition. One of them was reportedly used to destroy a Ural Vagon Zavod, or UVZ T-90M main battle tank, the pride of the Russian tank industry. As a handheld device, technology analysts argue that this accomplishment should not be taken for granted. Although the tank in question is not precisely the latest in Moscow's arsenal, the effectiveness of the Carl Gustaf is to be admired. The T-90M, built with layered steel alloys and composite armor, features reactive armor tiles on the majority of its chassis and turret. Furthermore, the vehicle is also protected by the active protection system Shtora 2 and with an IR countermeasures module. The M4's lethality against several different types of targets was clearly demonstrated during the trials. Plus, the versatility of the various categories of rounds fired by the launcher was also proven, including the anti-personnel capability of the system, showcasing rounds filled with warheads that deploy flechettes and airburst rounds. On the other hand, Saab-designed weapons have a particular signature. When they exit the launcher tube, the rocket motor ignites only after initially airborne, in what is called shoot and scoot. Remarkably, this capability allows the troops to fire without revealing their position, something previous generations of ATGMs could not accomplish. But as the briefer that profiled the system before the live demonstration put it, quote, it is inaccurate to call these fire and forget weapons. Due to them being smart weapons, these are more like fire and remember systems. We are not in a rush to forget. Thank you for watching our video. Don't hesitate to subscribe to Dark Tech, and check out the rest of our Dark Documentaries channels for many more historical and military anecdotes from modern history, and hit the bell icon to be notified of our newest content. Stay tuned.